Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Seti Saturday. Seti Saturday, March 23rd, 2024. We welcome and welcome and welcome you. We thank you for following us. Please make sure that you're checking out this broadcast. And as you do on YouTube, on Facebook, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. We are definitely giving information continually and ongoing to enlighten the masses about the number of things that are going on in our world in regard to business, in regard to macroeconomics, digital economics, technology, finance, and as you know, one of our favorites, decentralized finance and decentralized cryptocurrency into action. We are Seti Inc. We are a management consulting company. We deal and handle business advisory, digital economics, digital financial literacy, and decentralized cryptocurrency interactions. Our four main pillars: um, strategic planning, management consulting. And this gets into such things as coaching and leadership, business structuring, tax management, etc., wealth creation, financial development. Um, this is building your resources in such a way that you are able to continue to maintain the push and flux of your business as all things go through cycles. Wealth management, wealth management gives us the apparatus to begin to understand and utilize capital as we're gaining it and as we're seeking to grow what we're doing, expand what we're doing, to do it in such a way that it benefits us more in depthly. And number four, wealth security. This is becoming more and more critical and crucial as we know that there are a multitude of entities, factors, and players today that are seeking to erode your capital, to erode your savings, to destroy the very hard earnings that you are working for. And it is not just players and entities, but it is really the mechanics of the system that we are in. And so, wealth security today is protecting your livelihood, protecting what you've worked for yesterday. Very, very critical. Very, very critical. Now, family, as you know, we really are continuing our series here. Why should you be in decentralized finance? And for those who may be visiting us for the first time, you're not necessarily familiar with any of the terms, please make sure you just go back and check us out, or you can contact us directly at customer service at TiSetiInc.com, customer service at TiSetiInc.com, and get your free consultation and begin to learn how all of these things are not will, but are now having an impact on your life. And what you're going to see as we are already into the first quarter, nearing the end of the first quarter of 2024, you and I are going to be able to see more and more the impact of the very things we're talking about here. So make sure again you like, share, and subscribe. Tell people about what we're doing here. Just a few days, people are going to begin to realize that the message that we've been putting out has been of great importance, in particular to the masses, the everyday man and woman. The everyday man and woman. It is often us who are left out because we're so busy just trying to live, trying to survive, trying to keep the roof over the head and the food in the belly, that we're not necessarily paying attention to the themes and the backdrop of uh, activity that is going on around us, and how all of these things will begin to have an effect on us and our families. And so, why should you be in decentralized finance? Decentralized finance is the antithesis to centralized finance. Centralized finance is that which we are very familiar with: banking, insurance companies, all the thing, credit card companies, right? all the things that we typically are involved in our day-to-day lives, that we utilize, etc. Now, these systems, of course, have had some benefit to us, and that's good. And this is not to say that we won't use them at all or that you shouldn't, but it is to say that if we just take an honest and objective look at the realities of these current systems, we know that they have failed. In fact, you could check and look and Google search. Many economists have said that the economic system that we live in today has actually failed or did fail in 2008. And that really what has been going on since then is the approach of attempting to maintain or uphold it, because obviously, if people begin to feel the true impact of a failed economic system, it would cause pandemonium. Now, that can't be maintained forever, though. And so the advent of looking for something else, or a way to better control the system as they see it, is through the mechanisms of technologies. And there are a multitude of technologies. Some of them are not necessarily completely related to finance. So if you think about such things as iris scanning or facial recognition and these sorts of things, these things do not directly um, have anything to do with financial matters per se, but they're all being used and harnessed in the financial world as control mechanisms over people. Because again, how does a small group manage and control a larger group? It has to do it through manipulation and control. And so, one of the things that they want to use to continue their advent of control and power over the masses is CBDC. We've talked about that at some length. We will continue to talk about it as it is being onboarded throughout the world at a rapid pace now. But that which is good for us, that which has been created for the people, blockchain, through the advent of blockchain, decentralized finance, decentralized cryptocurrencies, decentralized projects, protocols, and mechanisms, ways that empower the people, empower the masses, empower you and I to be able to amass control over our wealth, our economics, our very lives financially. And this is not a joke, because we know much of what we are and who we do has to do with finance, right? If you don't have any capital, you don't have any money, you're in a very weakened position, and you're not able then to function in life as you would like to. If you are in a position, if you and I are in a position where we have to go to others to get what we need, we are in a weakened position. And so blockchain, built for the people, decentralized, meaning that there are no controllers or rulers or powers to be that oversee it. The use of intermediaries who charge high fees and who can wax rich off of the very existence of the mechanisms don't exist here, um, in this realm of decentralized finance. This is for us. What people become scared because of the narrative being spun by major media and others, but a lot of that is being found to be more and more false. But you might be afraid this week, even if you look at some of the news coming out about crypto in particular, and keep in mind that decentralized finance is larger than just cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a part of, you could say, the decentralized family, or the assortment of various things that you could utilize in the decentralized world, but it itself is not all in of what you would call decentralized finance. Decentralized finance, we should look at it as an industry, a spectrum of reality, wherein many developments can take place, many apparatus exist, many projects, programs, etc. And so this week, we saw the dreaded red candles. Speaking of charts, in terms of performance, price performance, and volume performance, we saw the dreaded red candles this week, and that meant, of course, that prices were being impacted in a negative way. Prices were falling, etc. Now, as I'm saying this, and someone may say, see, that's why I don't get involved with these kind of things. Just understand that the nature of life, the universe itself, has the same mechanisms, right? Nothing stays up all the time. Things go up, things go down. There is a cycle that takes place. The the victory, the success of navigating such things is understanding them, knowing them, or certainly having other people who do know how to do these things to reap success. Because, in fact, you can get benefited even in times of low volumes or times of falling prices. That can be the very time that you become hugely successful. And so, looking at what took place this week, we know that Bitcoin, for example, reached a new all time high over the last couple of weeks, but it fell back from that all time high of at one point roughly over $73,000 per coin, and it fell back down to roughly 61,000, losing a lot of its momentum at that point. And some of this is consistent with what we would see in any markets. Remember, no company prices stays up, no stock stays up and just goes up, up, up always. They always will come back down. And oftentimes, because there are mistakes, you could say, in the market, and there's that which is called retracement, which is when there is a pullback from a price that has now been achieved because the market has now needed to adjust for various reasons from where it is at. The movement of investors, the movement of people in and out of the market must correct itself to ensure you could say that things are the way that they should be, right? But what is noted here in this particular article by Quartz is that this was one of the biggest drops since the FTX collapse. Now, what what is important here to note is crypto markets in particular have a tendency to in all markets to some degree or another roll with news. They roll with the sense, the feeling of investors, the moods of investors. And a lot of this, of course, is impacted by news and so forth and so on, right? And so this is why sometimes we'll see things take spurts up and spurts down because the news or the impact emotionally, right, of investors has a way of doing that, right? So again, this is what was going on. But the big thing I want to share is those who were with us, with Tassetti Inc., those who are moving, we're not just looking only for green candles, the opposite of the red ones. Green candles meaning, of course, that things are going up, expanding, that the markets are thriving, or price action is going up in a positive way. We're looking at things, the market. We're looking at projects and protocols and programs overall. We're taking a technical analysis viewpoint, not only for the moment, but down the road. Remember now, even though it is an absolute fact that decentralized finance, cryptocurrency, decentralized cryptocurrencies, etc., are the greatest performing assets, uh, maybe of all time, certainly in the last 10 years, um, that doesn't mean that this is an abracadabra, hocus pocus, poof, you're rich. That that doesn't mean that, right? It does mean, however, that you can gain greater wealth at a faster pace than ever before. But nonetheless, we must still understand that this all takes time, right? But rather than it taking you, because we know history has taught us that people have certainly made $250,000 from maybe starting off at $100 or $1,000, and over time they made a quarter million or half a million or $1 million in the stock market. It would generally take something like 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years even to achieve such a feat. Whereas in the decentralized realm, something like that could probably be achieved and even has been achieved um, in 5 years or less, 2 years even. Statistically, mathematically, we know that people who invested, if they stayed in, if they did DCA, dollar cost averaging, in the crypto realm, just on Bitcoin alone, and they stayed in it, let's say from roughly, 2017 onward, and they only had a few dollars, like $100, they may have reaped something like close to $20 million by now. This is a mathematical fact. So yes, it would have taken time, but look at the robust returns that could and have been achieved by some. Now, as we're moving forward, this is really, really, really shaping up the way that we've been talking about, the way that many are looking at this year being one of the more robust years in the decentralized realm. And by the way, there are some other mechanics we'll talk about on another show that have to deal with the correlation of markets and the correlation of economic systems and how they're now actually are correlating with the Bitcoin cycles. With the Bitcoin cycles. What does that mean? That means that Bitcoin is really becoming an anchor itself, right? Again, it is just one component, one entity, one instrument in the realm of decentralized finance, but it is a mega instrument. It is really becoming a source of, how we say, a source of a foundational asset overall in the world, on the world stage of economics and assets and investing. Bitcoin itself is now becoming a financial model. It is an anchor financial asset at this point, and it is still only just 15 plus years old. Just think about that. Now, keeping that in mind, I recently heard uh, an economist say, you know, we're in a time right now where, as he was putting, just don't screw it up. Like you could literally just do a few of the right things and be good, potentially good for the rest of your life. Certainly so good that your family and the family after that part of your family, in other words, two generations down the line, could still be very good if we do the right things right now. This is a very uh, critical moment in financial history, in particular for the masses. We, the masses, do not get that many opportunities that where it is that easy, comparatively easy, to grow our finances and free ourselves from economic burden and debt slavery. We don't necessarily get that many chances, but we're sitting at one right now. 2024, 2025, 2026, maybe pushing out to 27, but by most accounts, these 3 years will be huge. We are now in March and moving to what is called and known as the Bitcoin halving. And this is the big event. One of the biggest drivers to what is looked upon now is predominantly going to be one of the biggest markets, bull markets of all time. There are other factors we've talked about, such as the advent of the spot Bitcoin ETFs, which really gave a green light and flag to big money in industrial capital, institutional capital coming into the decentralized world in a major way. Just January, and billions and billions and billions of dollars have flowed in already. This event, um, combined with other factors that are going on throughout the world in the macro economies and the big Bitcoin having taking place, and the fact that Bitcoin now much of it is near produced. Now understand this having is really an economic phenomena, one which is kind of readily known, what deals with the law of supply and demand, the laws of supply and demand. In business and in finance, the law of supply and demands basically dictate that whenever there is a demand for something, but there is a small supply of it, it will drive the price up, right? When there is scarcity of something of value, scarcity of something in need, it will drive the price up. This is a common and well-known law attribute of business. And that is exactly what's going on now with Bitcoin. We are coming into that time frame in April. Some the exact time is not known, but people are speculating somewhere between April 17th and the end of April, roughly. But Bitcoin will have the production or minting of the coin itself. In other words, the production of Bitcoin that is underway right now, how much is being minted every year, is going to be cut in half. Now, remember, Bitcoin has a cap in terms of the total volume or the total number of coins that will ever exist. There is a cap on that. And therefore, the having of its production is extremely important and impactful to its value, right? So it's not even, we don't have to guess, it's going to happen. We're going to see increases in magnitude over the next few months on the price of Bitcoin. Now, we don't know exactly how much, of course, but we do know, and we have history, of course, because there's been three prior halving periods. So there's history and data that we can extrapolate and make certain determinations, right? While also looking at a number of other factors going on that give us the proper indication of what to expect um, with the Bitcoin halving at this time. Listen, friends and family, you don't want to screw this up, right? You don't want to ignore this. Like, ignoring this would be totally screwing this up because you will have a terrible feeling years from now if you're not involved in this in some way. We highly, highly, highly in our opinion, think, and not giving you financial advice in that sense, but certainly we are educators in and around this, and we want to give you information. We want to help you gain a clear understanding of what's really going on. Now, keep in mind, while this decentralized momentum and these decentralized factors are taking place, on the centralized side of things, there's going to be an eradication of paper money, fiat dollars. It's going away. And there will be, in fact, a digital model of a digital monetary model in full effect at some point very soon. We will see in most places around the world, excepting a few nations that have actually now put into law that they will always have paper money. But many nations are looking to move away from paper money altogether. The central banks would love for there to be no more paper money. So there is a lot of pressure on the fact of that happening, and all of that has a play in this as in terms of the decentralized world as well, because this is where we, the people, have real power and control in the decentralized world using assets such as Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin halving is coming, is going to have a tremendous impact and over what we're looking at and what we're seeing today. And you want to be positioned, right? We're telling everybody, our members, our clients, don't worry, relax. Even if you see some blood in the streets, as they say, the red candles, don't worry at all, right? Because even as we're seeing the red candles, the other thing that it should be noted is we're seeing higher highs. So, in other words, we're seeing the price of cryptocurrencies, decentralized markets push up anyway, even though they drop back or retrace. We see them continually being pushed out further and further and further. And this is not just with Bitcoin, this is with a whole assortment of cryptos and etc., and how it is also impacting the different variations of projects and programs. Friends and family, if you want to learn more about all of this and how you should get in and how you can get in safely, as safe as possible, there's always going to be risks to anything dealing with money. There's a risk for you losing a job, God forbid. There's a risk for any business going out of business. There's always risk in anything financial. However, There are such things as risk management, um, and we handle and teach that. We help our members, we help our clients to navigate these things effectively through education. Through education. So you want to join us for our next upcoming event in April, April 17th. We're doing it right around the Bitcoin halving day. Maybe that will be the actual day that Bitcoin has. April 17th, you want to be with us. You want to join us. You don't want to miss this one. We've had two of these already. They've been fantastic. Many people have got on board. They're doing well. Those who are utilizing our services are reaping rewards of 6 to 15% earnings per month on average. 6 to 15%. This is huge, huge. It is huge and above and beyond the standard things that we see in the centralized realm. And guess what? We expect it to get even better with the onset of the bull market. We still haven't really gotten into the bull market. And traditionally, it is that Bitcoin halving that will initiate one of the biggest bull markets that we've seen in history. Learn and earn three. Learn and earn three. Make sure you register. You need to register to get in the room. Make sure you get on that registration page. You can find that registration in Facebook. You can find that registration in YouTube. You can find it on Instagram. Just click, go right to that registration page and get ready to be empowered with knowledge that will suit you and make you positioned for success for the rest of the year and maybe well beyond that. As we say, we are Seti Inc. It is your time, our time to conquer. It is our time to change our lives, to do something different, to no longer just be those who are watching others wax rich and complaining about what the system does. No, blockchain gives you and I the power to be our own system, to control our own wealth, to be our own banks. It is our time. It is time to conquer. We thank you so much for joining us this day, March the 23rd, Seti Saturdays. We're going to do some other things. Look for some pre-recorded broadcasts as well coming. There's just so much going on. We may not be able to pop in every Saturday, but we want to stay in tune with you, and you should stay in tune with us. www.TiSetiInc.com, customer service at TiSetiInc.com. We look to hear and see you and be have you be one of those with us who are positioned for success, for power and wealth, prosperity. Yes, 2024 is our year to get it going. Thank you so much. May your Saturday, may your family be have peace and power. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend.